What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and this is not what the video is about, but I just have to make a point real quick. Everyone talks about all my Glocks are Glock builds. Why do I have no stock Glocks? Why is nothing ever stock? And you're completely wrong. I just like to build. I like to customize. I like to build things and make them the way I want. I don't care if it costs a little extra money. I go into a lot of firearms planning, hey, I'm going to add these grips. I'm going to add these sights. I want more capacity. I'm going to get this base plate. Or I just want a color match. I just want to make it look cool. I don't care what people think. I test my handguns thoroughly and I train. I only buy reliable parts and I really test those parts. But on top of that, stock 19, stock 29, other than obviously sights, base plates, back plate, but all internal stock. Right here, stock 30. Stock 43, stock 27, stock 45, stock 39. I mean, I could go on. I don't feel like wasting your guys' time. But the point is, don't listen to what people say. Who gives a crap? If you want to build a handgun and make it the way you want it to be, stop you from that. But I do get a lot of hate for it. And obviously on this channel, you know my favorite handgun is the Glock 26. I also absolutely love the Glock 27, right? And obviously this Glock 26 right here is 9mm, but they are the exact same frame, a lot of the same internals, same width, same barrel length, all that. And another thing about them is they take all the Glock larger mags. But the thing is, the Glock 27 is the most versatile handgun in the world. It can be converted to 9mm, 357 SIG, 22 long rifle, and still shoot 40. So that's 4 different calibers. You can use all the 9mm mags, all the 40 mags, all the 357 mags. All you got to do is change out ejectors and barrels to conversion barrels. Like I said, it shoots 22 long rifle with the Avalanche Arms 22 long rifle conversion kit, which is absolutely awesome, super cool. And another thing this can do, it can take a Glock 23 slide. It can take a Glock 19 slide. It can take a Glock 32 slide. I mean, this is one of the most versatile handguns there is out there. I don't care what anyone says, and it's super reliable. And because it is a baby Glock, but has a lot of power, you know I had to put the Daddy Shark on there. Baby Shark, Daddy Shark reference. But anyways, these are two handguns that I carry often. I actually carry this 26 a lot. It looks a little beat up, but that's just from carry time. Just added a new barrel to it, and I love it. 15+1 setup right here. And if you want me to compare it to something real quick, let me grab a P365. Here's an XL, 12+1 at 9mm. Here's the 26, 15+1 at 9mm. I think the SIG is the same length, or maybe a little bit longer. Look at that. Glock 26. Anyways, these are two great handguns, but a lot of people don't necessarily like the Glock grips, which, you know, the texturing, stuff like that. And the number one downfall for the Glock 26 for a lot of people is it doesn't have a rail. They now make the Gen 5 optics ready, obviously, but the Gen 3s and Gen 4s, which are the most popular Glocks, not a lot of people have, right? So people want optics ready, people want rails, all sorts of stuff. Even though the handguns I have up here aren't optics ready, they now make those optics ready as well. But two great handguns, some of the most reliable handguns to ever walk the planet, came out in 1994 and have still been kicking butt and being reliable till this day. But like I said, a lot of people like other companies. They feel like other companies give more in a package. They, you know, have options for manual safeties, all sorts of stuff. And I completely understand that. And these are two options right here, and that's why we're making this video, right? We got the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 2.0 subcompact. So obviously it's going to be very similar in size to the 26 and 27. And on top of that, they take the larger magazines, like the 26 and like the 27. Then this right here is an M&P 40C, even though it is the subcompact. These are the same. They take the same holster. They're just like the Glock 26 and 27. They are the same exact handgun, just in different calibers, right? Two awesome handguns. First off, we'll start with the 40. Obviously, safety checked and cleared prior to the video. 9mm, safety checked and cleared prior to the video, right? Now, let's go ahead and get into it. This right here, the M&P 40C, I got for $300 used. I see them all over the internet. You can find them for about $270. I've seen them as low as $250 in some places, all the way to $350. And what they were is they were backups, just like the Glock 27 and 26 were carried by a lot of law enforcement as backups, ankle pistols, whatever the case may be. Same with the M&P 40C. The law enforcement company or agencies that had their contracts with Smith & Wesson, these were the backups, and then obviously they had the big brothers, which still take the same magazines as their mains. And that's some of the biggest reasons behind these handguns. Is the small version, if this is your only gun in the fight, you still have your backup mags from your full size or your compact that will still run flawlessly in its smaller version, allowing for more versatility. Like I said, if your main pistol's out of the fight and you are carrying a backup, you still have the option to use your mags you have on you. And on top of that, like I said, the shape-shifting ability, while still being reliable, is one of the biggest features that I look for in a handgun. On top of that, these have rails, which is amazing. Considering that Glock's been out 30 years, you think they would have put a rail on the Gen 5, but they have not. All the way back to the M&P 40C 1.0, this thing has a rail on it. Now, the reason I really like this handgun, and I would say it's my favorite 40 behind the Glock 27, maybe even better than the Glock 27 when it comes to shootability. I like the 27 overall better, but this handgun right here, for the price I got it at about $300, I mean, you can't beat this. But the one thing I do like about this better than the 27 is the recoil control. It's just better. The 27 can be snappy to a lot of people. I shoot it pretty well. But shooting the M&P 40C is getting 40 power with 9mm recoil. It really is. Very little muzzle flip on this handgun, but you do feel the power of 40, but just not anywhere near to what it probably should feel like, or out of, for instance, something like this. Even my ported 40 Shield Performance Center is a million times more snappy than this thing right here. So I love this thing, and that's partly reason partly because of that thick slide. Right, I'll show you compared to the 27, and you might see where some of that extra recoil control comes from. You see how wide that slide is, and imagine that width all the way down the slide and being a little longer. You just have a big, thick, heavy slide. Now here's how I offset it. I run these with Civil Liberty Defense rounds. It feels like you're shooting a 380 out of this handgun. I kid you not. And they're going at ridiculous speeds. They're the best ammo. And what it does is it gives you lighter rounds to make up for some of that weight with the slide, but you're still getting amazing speeds, 3.6-inch barrel, I believe this is. You're still getting solid velocity, all of that. But on top of that, like I said, you're saving some weight, which is a big thing for 40. And especially in summertime when everyone's in tank tops and t-shirts, no one's wearing winter jackets and stuff, it is the perfect ammo. Now, this handgun right here has been flawless. I mean, when I got it, since it is a backup pistol, it was rarely ever used. It didn't look like they even trained with it that much. There are a couple imperfections, but a lot of those are from me. Now, just like the Glock 26 and 27, what's nice about having both of these handguns is the ability to use the same holster. It saves you a little bit of money. Plus, you can get some 40. This could possibly flex into a woods defense, depending where you live. 200 grain hard cast, larger mag. You should be good to go. So that's a good reason to have both. 9mm for everyday carry for a lot of people, even though I love 40. Absolutely love 40. And I've made a video on this many times talking about law enforcement history with it. And every cop that I've talked to said this was a great handgun, ran reliably every time, as well as its big brother. And the stainless steel, I don't believe, was released to the civilian population. I think this is special for just law enforcement. So it's actually really nice. I actually love the two-tone. Now, it doesn't have front serrations. It's not optics ready, blah, blah, blah. All these people are going to complain. But who cares? You can send this away to get milled. It has a rail on it. The ergonomics are on point. I love this back strap. It's the only back strap that came with it, though. I'm assuming they threw away the other ones, and it feels really natural in the hand. The trigger is okay. The number one downside to this handgun is that magazine disconnect, but that mag release is actually pretty stiff. You're not going to drop that mag unless, a high-stress situation and your training doesn't come through. If you train, muscle memory is your best friend. Now, right here, being the same exact size handguns, you can see the difference in the 1.0 and the 2.0. You see the difference? There's a little front serrations. They added the plates here, for serial numbers and QR codes. Still has the rail, has much better texturing. They give you 4 back straps with it, multiple base plates for it. They give you right out of the box. This one does have a safety on it for anyone who wants it. This one right here, being safety checked and cleared and unloaded already, it can be fired without the magazine in that handgun. And it's actually a pretty decent trigger. Ready? I actually like this trigger. I'm not the biggest fan of the hinge triggers, but the one on the 2.0 is much better than the Shields and even that 40C right there. So this one actually is a better trigger. They give you a good amount of room for a gloved finger in both of these handguns, and I think that's a big thing for law enforcement as well. So I'm assuming they did like that to it. This just has better grip and texturing. Even this has better grip and texturing than both of those Glocks, but you can always put some grips on. The finish is absolutely amazing on both these handguns. Smith & Wesson always performs when it comes to their finishes, so you never got to worry about anything like that. Although I would recommend it not getting it with the safety. I got it with the safety because it was cheaper. It was like $75 cheaper on sale. I got this handgun under $400. The only price I've seen them for is around $425, $450 now. But the manual safety, I think, played a role in that because it is a bit, it's not as stiff as I'd like it to be. I might send it to Smith & Wesson, see if they can pin that down and just get rid of the safety for good, throw a pin through there and call it a day. I think you can do that with the MMP line, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, great metal sights that they give you, unlimited sight pictures for this, unlimited holster options. It's not the most popular Smith & Wesson, but it definitely should be. 10 plus 1 of 40 right here, 12 plus 1 of 9mm. Now, 10 plus 1 on the right, 11 plus 1 on the left, but that's cheating with that base plate. That base plate's a cheat code, just like all my base plates. And then, unfortunately, it's not a fair comparison because my 26 also has a cheat code in it. 15, actually, it's pretty comparable. Holy crap. Wow, that's interesting. 15 plus 1 on the right, 12 plus 1 on the left. So I think the Glock 26 still wins, but there are cheat codes available for these as well, and the larger mags. I think I have a 24-round mag for this. So, awesome options. They can flex into the bigger roll with the larger mags. They work for home defense because you have unlimited light options with those rails. Comfortable guns, very comfortable to shoot, very low recoil, very reliable. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about these handguns. I'm very impressed. And for $300 and sub $400 handguns the way I found them, unbelievable. Can't beat it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.